Kurde, co to od razu szczelinka? Kurwa, co tu się dzieje?
I thought the Texas Rangers got hardened.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was Colton, a witch's tit, and a brass bra that night, as I fought my way past his loyal compadres. To the very same saloon we're sitting in today.
Gdzie jest to ten wyjście?
Look around and imagine this place painted in blood.
Painted in
Harden
blood.
was waiting for me, and
A ma karty.
wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. Fathers and husbands, brothers and sons, men with families who cared about them. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
God damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friend. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their Jefe of my unwelcome presence.
Dodge a damn bullet? Tell Hardin someone's coming for him. Stop that bitch! I'm just
What the fuck?
let the boys know we got another law dog.
Kurwa no.
I wondered if Bob was among them. And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit
Na
better.
niebo. Ty, ale księżyc blisko, co jest?
Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
No ciężko bez drzewa zrobić.
God damn him!
bastard. I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
Ja pierdzielę.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Oj tam. Dawaj go, chłopa. Zabij człowieka za chrapanie. Aha.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline, or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Jo, pierdolę, ale szybki rzeczywiście.
No, wait! He didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Kurwa mać, celność, nie wiem. Ja pierdolę te pojedynki, no nie wiem. Dziwne są. Wujek kujek. Kurwa, no nie zdążę, no. Ja pierdolę. Nie wiem jaki... On jest szybki, kurwa. O co w ogóle chodzi z tą kurwa szybkością? Ja nie wiem. Jak to się w ogóle kurwa ładuje ta szybkość? Ja nie rozumiem kurwa tej mechaniki szybkości kurwa w tej grze. Nie, to mi się kurwa. Ja pierdolę, ej, to jest kurwa idiotyczne, naprawdę, to jest idiotyczne.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline, or maybe that was fear. He was well known
Nie mam
for his
kurwa
tricks,
szybko klikać, czy
and I
co?
knew
Czemu
I'd
to
need
spada
my
do
own
zera,
if I was
kurwa?
ever to defeat him.
Nie wiem, nie rozumiem kurwa tego. Jak działa jebana szybkość w tej grze, bo mnie zaraz pokurwi.
I'm sure of it.
Aha, dobra. Czaję. Aha, no nie, no kurwa. Mam takie procenty, jeszcze nie dałem rady.
That man was faster than grease lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
Dobra.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back at a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
Dobra. Tańczący z renegatami.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickle the nether regions of heaven.
Dawno temu w odległych
Grey
górach.
Wolf was a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him. They saw me before I saw them. crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting has started, there was no backing down.
O kurwa, to jest jeszcze chłop. Jezu. Jezu, w tej gra ma jeden zasadniczy, kurwa, największy problem. Że przez tą grafikę swoją, to mało co tu widać tych przeciwników.
They
Strasznie
saw
słabo
me
to widać.
before I saw them.
Kurwa, no. Z której strony mi strzela jeszcze jakiś zjeb? Jezu.
They saw me before I saw them.
Jeszcze ktoś jest tu? Nie, po prostu gierka jest tak zrobiona, że ciężko ich wypatrzeć.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there. I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again,
Jeszcze jak dostaniesz strzał, to już wszystko ci się rozmywa.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout. A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Okay. O, papa.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't
No,
about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars. They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
How come you know so much about angels?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death. I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me.
Indian.
As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if I had no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
Kurwa mać, ile tych przeciwników. Nasrane.
As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul will have no rainbow, I have no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk. I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle. I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo.
Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady. I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right
Oj.
into a trap.
Kurde.
Well, son, there had to be at least
Słyszę.
100 Apaches around here.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Przetrwaj zasadzkę. Mumbo jumbo.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
Okay.
Never did find him. Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Okay.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding about how he had no ambition. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
Okay.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months, and now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man
Bounty
had no
hunters.
intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait to see the bitches out.
But this bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. From above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Co teraz? A, tu.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Is that Silas
Jim
Greaves?
Boone, Davy
Son of
Crockett,
a bitch!
died defending the Alamo.
Son of a bitch.
You'll die for this, you hear me? Over there!
Bank.
That's Silas Greaves. What the hell?
Silas Greaves.
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
Essa na
His name
Daltonów.
was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
Trzeci raz to samo.
It was early evening, not high noon.
Shoot it!
The Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. I was late to the party, and Coffeeville was already up in arms. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I'd been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob two banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville. You can't get me.
Kurde no. Czaczki.
Hey, we got us an ear report. Put some holes in them.
And those friends come after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions.
We got a lot more bullets.
I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those two families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Shit happens.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least two of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work. It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Reeves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
You are dead, law dog. You messed with the wrong damn Dalton. You ain't getting by me, Reed.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys would
Private
get away this
army.
time.
O, mamy kolejny poziom. Mamy wszystko, a potem sobie pójdę w... Potem sobie pójdę w tego... Karabinka. Jeśli jeszcze będą jakieś punkty w ogóle.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell.
Fog as hell.
It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood.
Co tu się dzieje?
The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Sekret. Chociaż jeden.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm. So I had to face them alone. I wondered why
sobie
my
pod
compatriots
karabin
didn't
zagrać.
come running when they heard the
Shit.
shots.
Zawsze robię pod pistolety. Sobie pod karabin zagrać.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet. But I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Oj, 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 oj.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Ty jest zdobiony Quicksilver. Czekaj, Quicksilver? Nie. Quickshooter, sorry. Quicksilver. Quicksilver to był w X-Menie.
Point being, I was under serious attack.
Aha. Spoko. Aha, aha, spoko, aha, spoko. Kurwa, co tu się dzieje? To nie bije. A ten gnój.
Time to fill you full of lead. I'll live.
Z tą grą jest właśnie taki problem, że tu ciężko czasami dostrzec gości. Oj. Kurwa.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Pissing me off. Pyk. Między oczy. Ja mogę zrobić na te 6-strzałowce, w sumie one są więcej biją, one są wolniejsze, ale większy damage zadają.
A barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no
Goddamn swamp,
idea where I
goddamn
was.
man.
Steve?
Steve.
So I just started walking.
No, Steve
And
sobie
pretty
śpi.
soon, Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Oh no. Ci Indianie cholerni. Patrzę.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following
Fajna
darkness
narracja
through a
z
swamp?
Gierca.
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening.
Cały czas jest takie
I was
opowiadanie
just,
tego i
resting my
zmienianie
eyes.
w zależności od
Where was I?
The Daltons.
rozmówcy.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Bounty hunter! Stop that, son bitch!
Okay.
So did you
Bounty
ever find the
hunter.
damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits.
Oj! Aha. No tak.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son bitch!
Oj, sorry. Nie to.
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits.
Ten dynamit
Smiths or
cholerny.
Heimhoffers or who knows what. What's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Talking about. Wink, wink.
Waste your bullets. Go ahead. Ain't bothering me none.
No, wychodź się. No ty chyba se żartujesz, kurwa. To z taką tarczą łazi w ogóle. Ja pierdzie.
This some bitch is pissing me off.
Okej. A nasz pącili na tej wabadzie. Wow. Okej. Dobra.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere,
Strzelec.
standing together against anyone who would threaten them. And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was
Oh,
in
shit.
that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. And those
Bang,
vigilantes
bang, bang, bang.
and company
Bang, 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 bang.
anywhere to be found.
Bang, 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 bang,
But
bang,
among
bang.
those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces. Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Dalton.
Sounds like you don't
Ogush.
give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Już nie wiem, no wracamy tu w sumie. Czym się przeładowuje. Yeah, what do you want? Kamil ma wyjebane.
Right about then, much to my
Oh.
relief, the vigilantes
Straż
finally
Obywatelska.
arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. Huh. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out!
Oh shit.
I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played me
Not so
like a
tough after
fiddle.
all this.
Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn
Uh.
payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a
Don't think-
burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in
Did
a
you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're
Well,
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys.
Aha. Przed samym tym zginąłem? Nie gadaj.
But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a
It
challenge.
was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're
well,
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys.
A, za późno to
Time to
zrobiłem.
settle this once and for all.
Kill that bastard. Esa. Czy jeszcze?
Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
O kurwa, tu ciężko będzie, bo do dwóch trzeba. Dwóch trzeba. To jest 100%. Essa, kurwa, 100%.
A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers.
Yes, few
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch. I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
Co?
Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. So I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Pay for my brothers. Okay.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to
Pinkerton.
dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there. I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day. As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Gdzie? No strzela, kurwa.
At times, it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Oh shit.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Butch Cassidy.
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that?
Who the hell is that?
Take cover! Retreat! Retreat! Kill everybody! He'll kill us all! What a bunch of...
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they?
Hey, you!
Only a few stragglers were left, and I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail. Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Juarez,
On
huh?
that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you
Pierwsza 30 do piekła.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was